Recording has started.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Sivagnanam. I'm a cyber infrastructure researcher and also the lead for the user support for TSCC. And today, this is a workshop for using Python and Jupyter Notebooks on TSCC. And what I'll do is I'll provide an overview of the TSCC system, especially for new users and folks who are looking into joining the TSCC community, following which my colleagues will talk about how to run interactive computing, setting up of a customized Python environment, and running secure notebooks on TSCC, especially using Galileo. After the 2 hours of talk, we have about an hour where you can try using Galileo, and we'll be around to answer any other questions that you may have. So the TSCC was started in 2013. It's a medium scale UCSD campus research cluster. And the way TSCC works is that there are two kinds of business model. One is the hotel, where you can come in and you can purchase time, and you can just almost like you pay as you go, or you can buy in a node and we will add it to the cluster, forming a condo cluster. So the TSCC is very heterogeneous in the sense it has a mixed architecture of various, we support various CPUs, the GPU flavors, and there's around 300 nodes with about 7,000 cores and about 50 GPUs right now. We also have about 1.2 petabyte of parallel file system. And depending upon the Condo node, some of the nodes have Ethernet, or some has InfiniBand connection for the network. So we have around 33 participating labs in the Condo pool and growing. So the Condo model works simply with a research group or a lab asking us for a quote, and then when we work with them and with our vendor to provide you with a quote, the nodes are purchased directly, and they become a property of your lab or group or the funding agency. So once the purchase node are in place, your group can run on that purchase node or the entire cluster, and we have some usage rules that we state in our user guide, and we'll mention it today as well. And the labs and groups who are part of the Condo model are assessed with, you have to pay an annual operation fees. And what that helps us is that helps us purchase all the common infrastructure like a rack or the storage, and that we provided across for all the users. So as a Condo user, you can run on the nodes that you have purchased, but it also gives you an option to run on other Condo nodes. And keep in mind that it's a very heterogeneous architecture. So if your code is very performance sensitive, you may want to run only on the other Condo nodes, which are very similar to your own node. And the Condo users also have an extra capability of running it on a Glean queue, which is actually a preemptible queue. So when there are free cycles on some of the Condo clusters unused, your jobs can run on that. But remember that if there is the Condo owner's job comes in, your job will be killed, because the Glean queue is meant for only running very short running or restartable jobs. The hotel users are, it's very straightforward. You purchase a time and you run only on the hotel nodes. Current pricing is about $250 for about 10,000 hours. And it's just you pay as you use. So even if you purchase your own Condo nodes, the entire TSCC cluster is a batch scheduled cluster. So all your jobs are queued, and the queuing system is stored with Maui scheduler. So the jobs have to be sent to the nodes by the scheduler, and you can either write a batch job or the interactive job, which Mary will cover today. But the entire thing it's not like in Amazon where you have an instance and you immediately go and run on your instance. Here there is a batch job and there is a scheduling. It's a scheduled cluster, so I just wanted to point that out. So there are various queues that you could use to submit your job, and the hotel queue is meant for hotel users. As a condo participant, you pretty much can run on any queue with your own home queue having the highest priority, so that your job will run on the nodes that you have purchased. The Glean queue is the one that I mentioned, which is a preemptible, and you can run, and it's mostly for just short running route, but keep in mind that your job will be killed as the home job comes in. This is just an example of the current price list. So we work with vendors, and especially when you are writing your proposals, we can provide you this pricing structure if you want to include, or if you're thinking of buying nodes as part of your research grant proposals. So this is an example that we did recently, and this is for a Condo node with an Intel Cascade Lake processor. And this shows the pricing for buying 4 NVIDIA A40s with the AMD EPYC core as the CPU processor for that GPUs. So this is just an example, and what I'm just trying to say is that, depending upon what kind of node, and again, if it's a CPU or GPU, we can work with the vendors and can give you a pricing to be included in your proposals, or to buy a node here. And again, this is just another example of a 4-year budget, and we can work and having a 4-year, we can work with our vendors to get a little bit of discount, so we can put that in, and we can give you an amortized cost per year, and also, how much of an annual charges will be for buying the node. So in addition to purchasing nodes, it's not just, even though we don't cover this, TSCC participation includes basic user support. So we will help the users with login assistance, running your jobs, transferring your files, installing small applications. But however, if you have more advanced support, right, if you have code porting or tuning, if you have your own pipeline implementation, or if you need some sort of a cyber infrastructure development, we can assist. And usually the way we do it is we will be written into your proposal, or we can do that as a project recharge basis as well. You may be aware of this, but SDSC has a history of writing successful proposals with the domain scientists, where we bring in our cyber infrastructure expertise, and we have examples of many successful proposals with UCSD and outside of UCSD, and we are interested in doing the same with our TSCC community as well. This is an example of an NSF proposal that the TSCC team put together. It's called the Triton Status. The idea of this is more of a research infrastructure, where we wanted to see if we can test out cloud bursting capability, especially with having an on-prem, off-prem cloud infrastructure, and also explore a bit more on the interactive tools such as the Jupyter Notebooks and RStudio. The idea was once we test this out and try it out, we can make, we can think about how we can integrate this and provide this to our entire TSCC community. So if you are new and you're interested in getting an account, we can provide you with a trial account. The trial accounts are about 250 SUs or compute hours, which is good for 90 days. We just need some basic information, and I'll provide you with the email to send it, where you can provide your name, your group, your contact information. And if you're not from UCSD, we do need your public key to set up your trial account. For hotel usage, it's just simply your funding recharge index that we need to set up the hotel account. And keep in mind that any of these, either it's a hotel or a condo, you do get, every user account gets a home directory with about 100 gigabyte quota, and you have access to a shared Lustre scratch space. But then this scratch space is more for temporary running jobs. So if you do need a more permanent storage space, we do work with other groups at SDSC to provide you with the storage in our project space. So the future plan for TSCC is that we are thinking about migrating the hotel users to another cluster here called Expanse, which is a brand new cluster that started end of last year. One of the reasons is that they have better pricing model, and again, this is under consideration, and we have discussed this with all our current users. So we are thinking about that, and it's still under consideration. There's some plans for upgrading the network fabric, and as I mentioned, we are exploring the cloud bursting capability, and once that we have a better understanding of or how we can provide it for the entire TSCC community, we will be providing that. So any TSCC related questions, either whether it's about purchase or for your proposal, or if you have questions on running a job, on software installations, please send it to tscc-support@ucsd.edu. Here's a link for the systems page and also the user guide for TSCC. And with that, I end my portion of the talk, but if you have any questions, I'm around after this talk, and we can discuss. Are there any questions? If not, Mary, do you want to share your slides?
Yeah, yes, I will